Moon Knight, a new series from Marvel, has been a success since it differs from their regular style of content and has distinctive characters and gods from well-known Egyptian mythology. Khonsu is the main individual responsible for the superhero's very existence. Khonsu, the Egyptian deity of the moon, was among the many Egyptian gods and goddesses. His name, which means traveler, most likely derives from the way the moon travels through the sky. Khonsu is translated as navigator or wanderer by other historians. He used the crescent moon as his emblem, and his name led people to assume that he was the guardian of travelers, especially at night. Furthermore, he was also regarded to be the deity of healing. The healing powers of Khonsu are linked to a number of remarkable occurrences. In the Princess of Bekheten tale, an Egyptian monarch asked Khonsu to take the form of a statue so that he may travel to Syria and treat a princess. Khonsu agreed and entered the statue, which was then sent to the princess. When the statue arrived, it was able to heal the princess since the illness was caused by evil spirits, which the statue was able to expel. Khonsu then took a bird to fly back to Thebes. The appellation, beloved Khonsu who protects his majesty and drives away evil spirits, refers to him as having cured King Ptolemy IV of an enigmatic disease. Khonsu was associated with both healing and fertility. This is because a woman's menstrual cycle and the lunar cycle are linked. Women turn to him for assistance in having a child. For instance, the word menstruation is derived from the Greek word mene, which means moon. Farmers also prayed to him to help them in the conception and growth of their cattle and crops. The area was blessed with clean air when the moon shined under his influence. He kept track of time alongside other Egyptian deity named Thoth. But he also had a darker side, and some even call him a cannibal god. The initial descriptions of Khonsu in the Egyptian pyramid texts are violent. They indicate that he would kill lords and consume their flesh, and that his favorite meals were human hearts and skulls. His prominence in Egyptian mythology did not emerge until the New Kingdom. In addition to Thebes, Khonsu was revered in Memphis, Edfu, and Hebes. His character, however, changed with time. During the Theban Triad, Khonsu was worshipped as a member of the Theban Triad. Khonsu was thought to be Amen and Mut's child. Amen was one of the most popular gods in Egypt, a member of the pantheon. He was revered as a god of the air. The name Mut, which means mother, was said to have been given by the creator of the world. Three ancient gods known as the Theban Triad were worshipped in and around Thebes during the so-called New Kingdom. Khonsu was strongly associated with Amen and Mut in Thebes, but he was assumed to be the son of Sobek and Hathor, in Kam Ambo and Osiris in Edfu, where he was referred to as the son of the leg, since it was the portion of the dead king's corpse that was said to have been discovered there. This was one variation on the triad. He was often compared to Horus and Shu, the god of the air, and like Thoth's aid, he contributed to the reckoning of time. He was also believed to have an impact on both human and animal gestation, according to the Khonsu cosmogony, which was preserved in a Ptolemaic text written on the walls of the Khonsu temple at Karnak, and explains the connection between the Theban Khonsu and the creation myths of Memphis and Hermopolis. Khonsu once pretended to be a human pharaoh in the Egyptian city of Thebes at about the same time as Osiris, a fellow deity, was doing the same thing while governing Heliopolis, which is the place Khonsu was truly born. After Seth, the malevolent deity overthrew Osiris, there was a power shift in heaven and earth and a redistribution of various divine duties. As a result, Khonsu was elevated to the role of god of the moon, while Osiris was named the new god of the dead. Khonsu was frequently shown as an anthropomorphic figure. He was usually depicted as a younger man bound in mummy bandages and a form-fitting gown, though his arms might occasionally be free. He commonly appears wearing his lunar emblem, which is the complete lunar disk perched atop a crescent new moon. Although he may also sport the curled beard of the gods, being the divine son of Amen and Mut, he frequently wears the side lock of youth. He wields a jade-headed staff, in addition to the crook and flail associated with Osiris and Horus. His most recognizable accessory, though, is a loosely hanging necklace that has a counterpoise on his back and a crescent-shaped pectoral piece laying on his breast. This counterpoise often has the appearance of an inverted keyhole to separate this god from depictions of the god Ptah, whose necklace counterpoise has a different design. As a deity of the sky, Khonsu may also be depicted with a falcon's head, but the crescent and moon disk over his head served to set him apart from Horus and Re. The cynocephalous baboon, which the ancient Egyptians believed to be a lunar species, served as one of his emblems as a lunar deity. However, he did not take this shape as frequently as the god Thoth. Khonsu may assume human form on tiny amulets in later eras. He may be shown on plaques throughout the later stages of Egypt's history, together with his heavenly parents, Amen and Mut, as a complete human being, or with a falcon on his head. He could also be seen on the back of a crocodile like Horus. Khonsu in the Marvel Universe. Anyone who is familiar with Marvel's Asgardians would tell you right away that the MCU's gods aren't exactly kind. This is particularly true of Khonsu. Mark Spector, a mercenary, is left for dead in an Egyptian tomb, and then revived by Khonsu to become Moon Knight in the original Moon Knight comics. The result of this resurrection is enormous since Moon Knight ultimately serves Khonsu's whims, and God is only interested in his own dominance in the universe, according to the deity anyway. Mark's dissociative identity disorder makes it harder for him to deal with Khonsu's own plans and expectations. In the comics, Khonsu serves as a night guardian and a traveler's defender. Khonsu, however, is unable to enter the earthly realm. Thus, he has to operate via an earthly avatar. Khonsu is the son of Amun-Ra, the sun god. Both have chosen a different earthly avatar to compete against each other throughout the centuries-long conflict. Ra assumes the persona of a guy identifying as the Sun King. In some interpretations of their ancient Egyptian mythology, Khonsu, who is also known as the god of the moon, is also referred to as the god of vengeance. Marvel Comics has explored into the character's darker side, while explaining the character's past in the Marvel Universe and providing more detail about the Moon Knight mythology. For instance, Khonsu was interested in joining the Stone Age Avengers, an alliance of mighty beings that included Thor's father, Odin, and one of Wakanda's first Black Panthers, in the year 1 million BC. The Avengers rejected his request to join the team, so he created the first known Moon Knight in history by selecting a human to serve as his avatar and battle the Avengers on his behalf. This would further result in the formation of the Cult of Khonsu, a group that reveres the god of the moon as its supreme god. Being the Moon Knight does have its benefits, one of which is gaining some of Khonsu's abilities. For instance, the god of the moon possesses the ability of lunokinesis, which enables him to control anything formed of moon rocks, even Uru, the metal that makes up Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. He possesses many of the classic superhero traits, including superhuman durability and strength, immortality, magic proficiency, and the ability to absorb the powers of others. Khonsu doesn't use weapons, but he has a history of giving the Moon Knight strong, lunar-themed relics to add to his collection of weapons. Mark Spector's armory, which also includes a variety of impressive tools, is a big reason why he is frequently compared to Batman. For instance, the truncheon may be used as a grappling hook to facilitate climbing up buildings, or hanging between them much simpler, while the crescent dart is effectively his batarang. With this, we come to an end for this video. Let us know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed watching it, smash the like and subscribe button. We'll see you next time around. Until then, stay mythically mad.